Everybody kind of wants to be a great chef or a great cook because food is something we need every day, and why not enjoy it, and why not feel like I'm on vacation every single day? There's a TV show my wife loves to watch, and I love her, so I love to watch it with her, kind of like her favorite sports teams and so on. But we watch this show called MasterChef. Maybe you've heard of it. It's like they've got these 3 judges slash coaches slash mentors, personalities that go around the country and they find the best home chefs. And home chefs, I learned, doesn't mean you don't know anything. It doesn't mean you just were like making, peanut butter and jelly toast before. It means that you just don't have any professional training in culinary school. And they find the best ones that can make gourmet meals. And the way that the show goes about, they post this idea that anyone can be an incredible chef. I'm here to tell you from experience, not everyone can be an incredible chef, but everybody wants to be an incredible chef. And here's the direction. You might say, what's the point here, Pastor? The point is this, and I want you to maybe write this down, maybe just remember this statement here. Everyone wants to be a great cook, but few people are passionate about doing the dishes. Everyone wants to be a great chef, a great cook, make gourmet meals, but very few people are passionate about doing the dishes. Why is that important? Because you can spend all this time with the best recipe, the best resources, ovens or cookware, whatever. You can have the best ingredients, and you can put all that and all the skill to put it together. But if you prepare or serve a gourmet meal in dirty dishes or pots and pans, it's ruined. It's disgusting. It's lazy. We would say all kinds of very negative words about that. There is not a culture out there. There is not a style that says, yes, this is a restaurant where we specialize in dirty dishes. We never do our dishes. People would say that is disgusting, that is unsafe, that is unhealthy, and you will not have my money. All I will be giving you is a 1-star Google review as I leave. That's not something that's going to become popular. Everybody wants to be a great chef, but no one wants or is passionate about doing the dishes. When we look at our lives, we can have all kinds of goals, we can have all kinds of skills, and we can make all kinds of desires for us to grow. But if we're not willing to do the dishes or clean the inside of our lives, all of that can feel wasted. In fact, this time of year, there's 2 kinds of people. There's people that make all kinds of New Year's goals, and there's people that don't. And here's what the people that don't are. They're usually people that have tried it. That they've tasted the passionate moments of hiring a coach, hiring a trainer, or getting a chef, or taking lessons, or enrolling in classes, or buying a new this, or getting a new that, or going through all kinds of stuff to be able to grow as a person, and then taste the bitter taste of failure, or lack of success, or not the success that they wanted. So this time of year, when everyone's making goals, I love these goals. But here's where we're going. Before we can refresh, we must restart. We must restart on the inside before we refresh the outside. I can do all kinds of things to make my life better on the outside, but if the inside is not cared for, it doesn't really matter. I can try to add new furniture. It can be the best furniture that I could not afford for a room in my house, but if I don't clean that room and get the old furniture out, it's just cluttered and causes more of a mess than it was before. If I try and add new apps even to my phone without getting rid of other apps or organizing them, it just makes my life more stressful. If you try to put up on my new Christmas clothes, but I have not showered, the Christmas clothes ain't going to help me make some friends. You know what I'm talking about? I did shower today. Let me tell you a story. A crowd was gathered. Now, there were no tickets, there were no concessions. This crowd started as just a few people that knew the speaker. The speaker didn't have a following. There was no social media buzz. There was no promotions. There was nothing out there. But as people walked by and they heard the speaker talking, they heard the speaker say things that they were thinking. Meaning, everyone was thinking about this, but no one was saying it except for this speaker. And the crowd grew and grew, and pretty soon the crowd was common people as well as the attention of the powerful people. And the main thing this speaker was saying, and Pastor Kurt read it earlier, the speaker was talking about the powerful people. And saying the powerful people, the religious leaders, they know a lot of good stuff. You can trust what they know. They went to the best schools. They can teach that stuff that they know. But don't do what they do. In fact, this speaker said they know a lot of stuff. Listen to what they say, but don't do what they do, or you will feel like your life is wasted. It reminds me of those moments when someone will say, I really love this football player, but I would never, I don't like what they do in their personal life. Or I love this movie that this actor, this actress are in, but man, like once I heard about like the way they live their lives, it's just so different. In fact, as a pastor, I've been privileged to be part of hearing all the news over the years of when pastors are called hypocrites. Well, you say one thing from the pulpit. A pulpit is like the thing that usually the sermon notes or the Bible are on up front. You say one thing up front, but you live a totally different life at home. In the Bible, they talk about that as a hypocrite. Jesus, if you didn't figure it out, is that speaker thousands of years ago. And here's what Kurt read earlier. Jesus said, what sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law? Awaits you means, oh, it's coming. Teachers of religious law and Pharisees, hypocrites. For you were careful to clean, listen to this, the outside of the cup and dish, but on the inside you were filthy, full of greed and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisee, first wash the inside of the cup and dish, then the outside will become clean too. Now, what Jesus is saying here, in case you didn't get it, he wasn't saying that the outside doesn't matter. What he was saying is there is this thing called an order. Jesus establishes here an order. That there's the inside of our lives as well as the outside. And that we can spend all this time with goals, with vision, with passion, all the resources, the coaching. You can meet with a therapist, meet with a pastor, meet with whoever. We can get all kinds of stuff on the outside. But if we don't respect the order and clean the inside first, we're ruined. In fact, he calls them hypocrites, which to a teacher is the worst. I mean, if you call any teacher, someone who stands up with authority like I'm doing right now, and say, you're a hypocrite, that is the worst thing you can possibly say. People would rather have you say nothing than to call them a hypocrite. Jesus says, first in verse 26, wash the inside. But he keeps laying it on them, verse 27. What sorrow awaits you? He starts the same way. So in the way, they're like, saying the same thing again. Why us still? Is he still on us? What sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law and you Pharisees, hypocrites, says it again. But then he says, instead of the dish and cup, he says, for you are like whitewashed tombs, beautiful on the outside, but filled on the inside with dead bones and all sorts of impurity. He kind of took it up a notch from the dish and cup. You know, he went from like Disney movie to like horror movie there, right? The dish and cup to like dead bones. Outwardly, you look like righteous people, but inwardly, your hearts are filled with hypocrisy and lawlessness. Jesus might say it this way. Everyone wants to look good on the outside, but no one wants to do the dishes. I don't think he'd say it like that. But do you understand the connection? Everybody wants to look good on the outside. And he's talking about religious culture at that time where to look good was to show that you were an orthodox Christian, that you were living the right way, you were going to the right places, you were talking to the right people in ways that everyone would look at and say, you are righteous, you are right, you are doing the right things. You're living a righteous life. And Jesus said, it doesn't even matter if you're doing all those right things if you get the order wrong. If the inside is not taken care of first. So I'm just going to give you kind of two ways to talk about this order. First, and this rhymes, so maybe you'll remember it. We have to address the mess inside of me. I have to address the mess inside of me. What does that mean? Address the mess. The greatest adversary to your goals right now, the greatest adversary to you is usually inside of you. We like to say that every goal we complete is like a brick on the road towards our dream life. I've heard that before. But actually, if we don't address the mess, every brick is just a brick on the road in our way, causing a wall. I think one of the most difficult places to be in our life is frustrated. Because frustration doesn't come from being I don't try it all, I don't care. Frustration comes from deep care. That when we're frustrated, it's because I so had a vision that was different from what is in front of me now. And I imagine that there was probably a point where religious leaders were frustrated. But then they got used to this is just the way it is. I take care of the outside, what everybody sees, and on the inside, I'm a mess. But Jesus says, first, address the mess. So how do we do that? I don't just want to leave you. I feel like that's almost like cursing you. If I just say, well, do this, good luck. But I want to give you just a practical step. And this could be the hardest thing you ever do, but it's the simplest thing. This is kind of like if you brought me your car and you said, it's not driving well, and I looked and I said, oh, you need air in your tire. Like the simplest thing, but still, it cannot be easy, all right? If we want to address the mess in our lives, here's how you do it. You have to find somebody you trust, and you have to ask them this question. And this might be something you have to prep them on. This might be somebody that you don't have in your life now. It might be somebody that you have to travel or you have to get on the phone with. But this is the question that you've got to ask someone if you want to address the mess in your life. You sit them down, maybe you buy them some House of J's coffee. Highly recommend that part, but that's not in the Bible, all right? Sit them down, honor them. Be ready to take notes. Be ready to listen and not challenge. Be ready to ask questions and not interrupt. Ask them this question. What is it like to be on the other side of me? What's it like to be on the other side of me? And then just listen. And here's the thing. It's so hard to find someone that we believe will be honest with us about that. But I think that there might be somebody closer than you think. You know, for those of us that might live with another adult, that might be the person. That might be the last person we need to talk to about that. What's it like to live on the other side of me? Becky and I do this. We do this personally, but also marriage. When we go on a date, we'll ask each other this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think our marriage is at right now? And I don't always look forward to hearing that. I don't always look forward to hearing the feedback on that. Especially if I know that I'm not giving us a high number. I know that there have been times where we're going through it and we haven't been talking. And we're both giving ourselves numbers that are not encouraging. But then there's this unity that happens when we've listened and we've heard and we feel heard, that we can do something about it. I've had mentors in my life that I asked this question to. I still have mentors that I ask this question to. What's it like to be on the other side of me? And over the years, it's gotten harder to ask it because we've become friends. and maybe they don't give me the heart, or maybe they don't live around me, so they don't see, and so it would be easy for me to just kind of hide things of what's unhealthy. But in stretches of my life where I am so frustrated, it typically is the reason is that I'm not addressing the mess. I'm trying to do all the goals. I'm trying to organize. I'm trying to control. But I'm not addressing the mess that's inside of me. Once I address the mess, I need to get help. And then I need to take action. And then here's the fun part. Jesus gave us this order. And what's great is there's only 2 things about it. It's pastors need 3, Jesus needed 2, right? So Jesus said 2 things. He said, first, address the mess on the inside, right? The inside of the dish. The inside where the filth is. Second thing that I'm going to tell you here is make a goal based upon the things that you learn from that question. The things that typically happen that I've had to deal with are anger and pride. Anger and pride. And so my goals end up being something not like, oh, I want to be a better guitar player, I want to do this. But my goals end up being something to grow 1% better in those areas. I don't make a goal to be 100% better. You make a goal to be 1% better. Because God cares more about the direction you're going than actually where you're at. That there are some of us who are pretty close to the Lord, facing the wrong way, and there are some of us that feel so far from Him, and we're just reaching like that. We're just reaching out, hoping to get there. Jesus gave us this order. First one, address the mess. Ask them. Find someone that you can have coffee with, you can have a drink with, you can get on the phone with. You can say, I trust you. I give you the keys into asking me questions, but I just want to hear from you. What's it like to be on the other side of me? Tell them, I want to grow. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. I don't want to make goals that are just something that I'm going to feel bad about 3 months from now. I want goals that help me get 1% better in those areas. It doesn't mean that it has to be a year from now you're 1% better. It can be 1% every week. Everyone wants to have an awesome meal or to prepare an awesome meal. But few are passionate about doing the dishes. Could we be a church that's passionate about doing the dishes? Could we be a church that when our kids talk about like the faith of their parents, the faith of their friends, the faith of their church, it isn't always, oh yeah, they did all these great things. But that humility, that a passion for addressing the mess in our own lives, and just maybe one day there'll be a generation that would grow up and have a picture of the generations before them, just snapshots from their church, that were willing to say, I don't have it all together and my life has been a mess, but I'm not afraid to address it. I'm not afraid to get the order correct. We could be a church where everybody talks about all the goals that we've met, or we could be a church where it's safe to be a mess and to address that mess. Would you pray with me?